No, you're the first person I'm not dating that's ever asked me that.
Let me ask you this way. What is your price to go vegan?
I can be serious as I look like a joker and my suit doesn't help much either. But
Is BraaiBoy a glorified midlife crisis?
You're listening to the Baascast. Yeah, it is better than it sounds.
Welcome back to the Baascast. My name is Baas de Beer. This is my cast, and I am absolutely happy to welcome you back. No. Andre, baie dankie dat jy luister. You are welcome. If your name's Andre, that would have been really cool. Please do me a favor just quickly before you go on. Subscribe, like, press buttons and do things. If you enjoy this podcast, share it, and who knows, angels might like you more. Speaking of angels, here is a devil. Welcome to my podcast, BraaiBoy.
Thank you. Always good to chat to you, Mark.
Listen, I must say, doing these podcasts has taught me one thing. It's completely different talking to your friends while holding a microphone than in,
Does
you
feel
know,
a little
just
bit
at a bar.
staged, doesn't it?
Oh, hi.
Hello. Yes, put on my radio voice all of a sudden.
Hi.
Or something, but
Do you know
we'll
me?
try and be natural.
The fun part is, though, that you're not a completely unknown figure to the social medias and the public, so I don't really need to go through the whole, and who are you? What is BraaiBoy about? Seriously, if by now you don't know what BraaiBoy is all about, just
Google him. But
Google.
even if I wanted to, I love talking about myself. That's my favorite topic.
today's podcast is simply me talking to you. I want to get to a bit of a point where we want to figure out, how did you make the transition from freaking being Gareth to being BraaiBoy, and how the business world has changed you. I mean, you were in business before, then you started braaiing, and then braaiing became the business. And in essence, I want to go a little bit further than just, so how many sausages can you braai per hour, or whatever the questions
There's
is.
other videos for that. So
And that is where I want to start. What are the most repeated questions that you get asked? Like, especially interviews, people, whatever. What's the
yes.
question that you get asked most often?
My favorite one is raak jy nie gatvol vir braai nie. So it's like, yeah, everybody loves to braai, and that we know, but they'll braai maybe on a Wednesday, maybe once a
Yeah.
weekend. So I'm braaiing every single day, and people are like, ja, maar raak jy nie gatvol vir braai nie. So, and my favorite answer to that is always, well, I have to eat every day. You have to eat every day. I just eat lekker. So that is one of the most asked questions like that. And then the second one is, what's your favorite thing to braai? And honestly, I don't have a favorite thing. So pre-BraaiBoy, it used to be rump steak. That's what I'd braai every weekend. But nowadays, it's pretty much everything. In fact, rump steak, I probably only braai like twice a month now. Ironically enough. So yeah, practicing a lot of weird things, doing a lot of the big in the smoking vibe nowadays. So now it's like whole animals that we end up smoking. Just came back from Hartswerk. We smoked all of the stuff there. So yeah, those are probably the two that I get asked the most. And quite honestly, I don't mind answering them. It's a conversation starter, and I get to tell people what I just told
Well, I
them.
think that's one of the beautiful things about BraaiBoy being a very social brand, person, identity. I mean, like you. I saw now at Hartswerkfeest, you would jump at the opportunity if someone asks you, so
Yes.
how did you start this thing? What's the story? And I mean, you, by now, surely you know the story off by heart so well that you could be flying through it automatically, yet you somehow still manage to seem like you care about telling the story like it matters.
And not just that, there's bits and pieces that I forget over the years.
All made
and-
up since.
No, yeah, well, hopefully not. What's that thing about Area 51? Like, interview all the people, and 10 years later, they remember different shit that didn't exist and did exist. Hopefully, I'm not getting that old yet. So I have been doing it a while. We are getting a little older. But hopefully, the stories I tell now are more recent. So it's like the last couple months rather than years and years ago. We're making new stories all the time. And that's the cool thing. I get new stories all the time.
You literally just jumped into my comment that I wanted to make on that is, you know how refreshing it is to find a person over the age of 45. Sorry, he is over 45.
This does not look it.
But just. But anyway, I mean, still having fresh stories, because most of my friends are like over 30, still tell the same freaking stories about, hey, do you remember when we had that braai? Hey, you passed out. It was, oh man, it was so funny. I joke. I don't actually have any friends that talk like that. But, you know what I mean? They still
Yeah.
tell it's like the same jock from high school still holding on to his rugby
His
jersey.
high school trophy, whatever.
And you make new memories pretty much every weekend, week.
Literally every day, actually. So, yeah. Okay, well, that's a point. So, yes, I do braai every day. No, I don't make epic braais every day. So, it would be cool if I did epic braais every single day, but the truth is sometimes I'm braaiing one little vorsie there for myself. So the rules are, just quickly for those who don't know who BraaiBoy and what BraaiBoy is, there has to be flames, there has to be meat, and I have to eat it. So literally one little boerewors, and that counts as my braai for the day. But like on the weekend, then I'll stand there and we were going to braai a whole pig. They're like, that's the idea, we're going to shoot a pig. Whoever was the hunter there did a shit job, and we didn't get a pig. But then all of a sudden, there's some beef ribs, so now we're doing beef ribs instead. And
Nice.
so things do literally change, and I find myself in new and weird places literally every other day. So and that's what's nice. So life is very flexible at the moment.
Flexibility is something that you probably didn't have much of in your previous existence.
Exactly. No, and on that, sorry, just to interrupt you there, on that point. So yes, I used to have a normal job and normal life and all the rest of it, and I never used to travel. So I had my own businesses. So whenever you're not working, you'd know from when you had your own business, if you're not working, you're not making money. So I would literally, for about the good 15 years of running my own businesses, I would take off between Christmas and New Year. The 2nd of January, I'm literally back at work again. Now, after that, after BraaiBoy, one of my proudest achievements is filling up my passport with stamps. You know how cool that is?
Yeah.
That previously, I'd pop through to Mozambique once or twice, and there, so I have like 3 stamps and your passport expires. Now, literally have to get a new passport before it expires. That is a cool feeling.
I think that should go into every person's bucket list.
For sure.
Fill up your passport before it expires.
For sure. Very sure. Yeah, so no.
Yeah, don't fucking swear on this podcast, dude.
I'll try my best. I'll try my best. But no, that's it's a lifestyle with cool news stories all the time. Yeah.
Now, let's stand still for a second in what I would like to call your BB days, your before BraaiBoy.
Okay. Because
you
I'm currently BB. So this is not going to help
That
much.
is
So
going
my
to be
BB days are my BB days. Like
Well, your pre-B days.
PBB.
Pre-B. Yeah, whatever.
Reminds me of Friends. No, that was
PB.
PBS. PB's PB. Anyway, okay, we're getting sidetracked. Sorry. Yes. You were going to say something.
You own a couple of businesses. You were into the nerdy side of things, the tech side, everything from web and app development. Well, and just give us a bit of a roundup. What did you basically keep yourself busy with before BraaiBoy?
So, yes, 90% studied IT. So, as a software developer, but so my life has always been a little bit on the degenerate side. So, yes, I'm a geek and still a proud geek. So, shout out to all the geeks out there. But studied IT, and during my honors year, mate and I only decided to go and study honors because we wanted another year of partying. So, both of us had bursaries, and we would have had to go and work for the companies that gave us our bursaries. But if we go and study honors, they'd give us a year break before we have to go and work for them. And we were having a jolt at varsity, so like, fuck that, let's go and party another year. He subsequently, on those December holidays before honors starts, goes and breaks his back. He rolled his car on a straight road.
How selfish of him.
Exactly. And so I ended up getting a job because honors is only after hours. So they worked a bit of like 3, 4, 5 hours a day as a student, doing some things. And started a company then. So I started my first company during honors. And then this was so much cooler than actually working for a job. I just carried on and started a few more companies. But 90% of it was IT. So I had a guest house in this place called Secunda. I never knew where Secunda was.
You just opened a guest house there.
No. Okay, I didn't open a guest. So what happened was a mate of mine, he was also an IT SAP consultant. He'd every week go through to Sasol to work on IT projects there. And he's like, well, the company's giving us so much money. They're spending it all in a hotel. There's this guest house available. There's 6 of them. If we buy this guest house, he can get those oaks to stay in the guest house. Bang, bang, bang. Easy math says, let's buy this guest house. I look at the math. They're like, yes, let's buy it. My first visit is, okay, where is Secunda? Let's go and sign the papers for this guest house. Worked on his word. that same mate ended up convincing me to buy a beauty salon. So I've had all sorts. A
Whoa,
guest
whoa, whoa.
house,
You
beauty
had a
salon,
beauty
charcoal
salon.
factory. Yes.
You.
Two lighties. Okay, so the beauty salon story. We bought this beauty salon so that he could hook up. So he had the hearts for the manageress. So we buy a beauty salon so that he can hook up. The beautiful part of that part of the story is it worked. They married, 3 kids, living in Australia now. So that's one way of picking up chicks. Like buying a beer or two would cost a couple of bucks every weekend, but yeah, we literally bought a beauty salon so that he could hook up, and
There you have it, boys. If you're struggling to hook up, don't buy a girl a drink, buy her a beauty salon and give her some free treatments.
No, buy the place she works at and make her work for you. So we bought the place she works at in order for him to chat her up. So
That's a flex. That again, getting back to friends with that, isn't that what Monica's boyfriend at that stage did? Yeah, when he
what's
bought
his
the
name?
restaurant, I forget his name now.
Yes,
Doesn't really matter.
Magnum PI. Well,
Yes.
yes,
No, yes.
yes, it was Magnum PI, but he's not.
No. He didn't buy the restaurant. It was the other guy. I forget. Favreau. John Favreau, was it? No, it wasn't him. No, it wasn't him. Whatever.
Yeah.
I'll cut this out because it's embarrassing that I got my friends' facts
wrong. Yes.
Friends' facts fucked up.
So, Christo from the future here. As you can hear, I obviously ended up not cutting that bit out. Here's the thing. It was John Favreau. I was correct. I should not doubt myself when it comes to friends' facts.
So you had a beauty salon, you had all these things, and then you went into.
Okay, so I started another business because a mate. So a lot of my stories start like this: that I was busy doing something, and this piqued my interest, and got involved with that. So a mate was teaching English, and he wanted to duck back to Thailand, Taiwan, somewhere to teach English second language. He came back to South Africa, didn't work. He wanted to leave, and I'm like, no. There's this thing called internet marketing. I have an IT business. There's an open table. Here's a PC. Here's a chair. Let's start this and on the side. And that grew into Insurance Sound. It ended up getting so big that company bought my original IT company, and 100% of our time was spent on this company. So, it was, like I say, a lot of my business. And I've had a lotto syndicate and a charcoal factory. Ironically enough, before BraaiBoy, I had a charcoal factory. Stuff. If opportunity presented itself, I would grab it.
Nice. Now, you got to a point that you said, listen here, stuff making money, I now want to spend money. Because in the end, BraaiBoy is a costly thing to do. How did you get to that change?
A little bit of, so yes, make no mistake, we were making mad money as youngsters. I mean, we're in our 20s and 30s. We were making lots of money for people our age, but it wasn't mad enough. I wasn't driving a Lambo. I didn't have a Learjet. And I was literally working 20-hour days, 7 days a week. So it was worth it. I loved every second of it. I did it because I wanted to do it. But there wasn't much, like I said, zero traveling. I mean, 1 week a year holiday, that sort of thing. I wasn't living life. And strangely enough, one of the tipping points was a mate of mine went in to have his teeth done. Innocuous little operation, no big goodbye, this and the other. It was just he wasn't looking after his teeth very well, and they had to go for an aesthetic instead of just a dentist operation. Goes in, anesthetist fucks it up, and he ends up dying on the table. His wife is 6 months pregnant. Long story short, he's early 30s, and just overnight, cheers. And it made us realize how fickle life is really. And then it was probably not long, few months after that, saw that the IT thing was Google has a lot more money to throw at the sort of stuff we're doing, and we'll never become the next Google. So when I started this stuff, I'm going to be the next Google, the next Elon Musk, the next that. And chances are, actually, there's a cool story. Elon Musk stole PayPal from me. So I created X.Cash, which was digital currency in the late 90s, and he didn't steal it from me. I'm sure all of us had the same idea. All of us had the same idea. He just did it first and did it well. But long story short, never going to become that massive world-changing thing. You're making lots of money, but is it really lots of money? You're not spending any of it. You're living a life. You're living past your wife. I mean, we're in the house, and I'm behind my laptop. And so, yes, we're at home, but you're not really at home. So, screw this. I was fortunate enough, all my expenses are paid off. So you've got houses and cars and all of that. If you have no expenses, you need no income. That was the theory. And
Yes.
so sold off everything and just started, braaiing for a living. And
Yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, you were doing BraaiBoy and still working for probably the first 2 years, I
yes,
think.
so BraaiBoy started off as a drunken dare. So we were braaiing with mates, with all my normal businesses still carrying on. BraaiBoy was literally just a hobby sideline thing that I had. And then I said, well, shit, this is a lot of fun. Let me do BraaiBoy permanently. I've made a bit of a money. I sold off one of my IT businesses, first to an investment company and then to our competitor. Had a bit of cash, and yeah, so I made a duck. And the theory was that would last me for the rest of my life. A bit of a divorce and too much sex, drugs, and rock and roll will sort of spend money faster than you think. So several million sounds like a lot until you're not replenishing it. Yes, then things get interesting.
And now, I mean, obviously, having initially wanted to make BraaiBoy a hobby, a fun thing, a way to, as we said, spend some money and live the life that you earned. Now you're in a position, as you so diplomatically alluded to actually need to make money from the brand
Yeah.
of BraaiBoy that you established.
Exactly.
Now,
Yeah.
I want to know first and foremost, on an emotional level, how does that make you feel? Like you had this one vision and now everything is different.
Well, it was, like I say, mixed feelings. You miss money. So, but I still have a simpler enough lifestyle. So, yeah, instead of buying a new car every 2 years, you can stick with the same car for 6 or 7 until you
you
write
crash
them
it.
off. Yeah. Touche. Touche. Um, I've only crashed one car in the last 8 years.
Oh, no,
So,
well done.
yes, it was 4 years prior to that one and 4 years since. So, yeah.
If you start counting
So
after the one
one
before
before that,
that.
yeah. So no, I'm doing that. But long story short, um, the convenience of that. But I'm what I do now isn't work. So yes, I'm up on a Monday to Thursday. I'll wake up at 10, 11 in the morning. Got my guys going to the bistro. I need to maybe now and again have to wake up early to take stock, or not take stock, order stock. But otherwise, I'll wake up at 5, 6 in the morning on a weekend in order to
Yeah.
be at an event, do
Which
something.
is hard if you were at an event the previous night till 2 in the morning.
Or you just pull an all-nighter. So a lot of our events we're doing nowadays, we pull in on the Friday night and the guests are only eating Saturday evening, and then we just pull an all-nighter. So that's a lot easier. And IT actually trained me for that. So my Guinness World Record with everyone's like, no, you can't do it, this and the other. I'm like, 3 days awake, I've done that without even trying.
I've done that in school while playing like games.
Exactly. And I was behind a PC concentrating. Yeah. I'm just braaiing and having a good time. So anyway, so the life has changed. It's a lot harder in terms of things aren't as convenient anymore, but it's a ton more fulfilling in terms of what I get to see and do and experience. I suppose if I worked a bit harder, I could turn BraaiBoy into a real business. Now I'm just monetizing BraaiBoy. So here and there, doing festivals, events, sell food to the public, got the bistro going. Yeah, and a couple of weird stunts. Like I say, Guinness World Record. I mean, how cool is that? There's really not too many people. Okay, the book is full.
There's
and
a
big.
lot.
There's a lot. But percentage-wise of the population, how many people own a Guinness World Record? And that is
not
something
many.
cool. Exactly. That is something cool. That a bank balance of several million is not going to get you.
And I mean, just to be clear, you still have food. It's not like you're living on the street.
I'm not.
but-
Ons krepeer daarmee.
Yeah, no. But I think you must have had a tremendous mindset change from being essentially this baller through to being a manual laborer in most of your instances.
Yes, no, for sure. I mean, you've helped me at many of these events. You're carrying your own smoker. Yes, we have staff to help, but you are the two there. So yes, big events will have 20 oaks doing it. Then we might take a back seat. But more often than not, I'm the one carrying all that meat in and out. I'm the one doing this. I'm the one with my eyes in the smoke. And so, again, that's not work though. I mean, if it's lacquer, is it really work? So it counts as manual labor. For sure, it's manual labor, but it's not begrudging work, if you want to call it that.
So I need to ask this, and I think there's a lot of people that might have wanted to in the past, but I don't think it would have come up as one of the regular questions because people are nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Is BraaiBoy a glorified midlife crisis?
No, it literally started off as a drunken dare hobby. It's a hobby that escalated and now became a necessity. So I've often been told, listen, yeah, so there's guys and corporates, and so somewhat alternative lifestyle, the 420 friendly vibe, and this and the other. It's who I am. The spandex is a joke I got stuck with, and I've often say again, if I thought about this in a corporate way, I would probably change it and become more this friendly, that friendly, and I could market this better. But screw that, I'm having fun. It's really about just shit. You might get hit by a bus tomorrow. Literally, that same mentality that started it all still does pertain to the way I'm living. So yeah.
Well, firstly, that should go on a t-shirt. Screw that, I'm having fun. I
Done.
think that is a...
I know this band that makes T-shirts.
Are they
who-
called Dolomit van
Dolomit
Springs?
from Springs, yeah. I've heard of them. They do something like that. Go and check them out. They do weird shit like
Very,
that.
very good band to collab with, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
And for the awkward ones, for the ones that are listening and not watching this, I am awkwardly pointing at my boobs at this point because I've got a Dolomit van
Molten
Springs
cheese all over his
t-shirt on, yeah.
Smelt the cast.
I want to stand still a little bit more on the mental health side
Yeah.
of this journey of yours, because obviously, as you said, now there's been changes physically, habitually, monetarily, planning wise, relationships have changed and all that. If you had to take a look at BraaiBoy year one versus BraaiBoy, what now, you're 14?
14 and a half.
Going on 15.
See, I'm still a teenager, so I'm maybe in
Yeah.
half years.
How would you say has your mindset changed about life in general?
Like I say, we were teenagers when we were thrown into IT and they threw money at us. It was just far too easy. You're like that spoiled rich kid that grew up, didn't quite have an appreciation for everything that just got given to you. So, yes, we were working hard, and yes, it's 20-hour days, but it was not much competition. It was very easy to do what we did. And so life was pretty much given to us, and it was a lot easier. Now we work for what we have. Still fun work, better work. Would I go back? Actually, I do. So during lockdown, I went and wrote my own little crypto coin. So taught myself a new programming language, wrote a crypto coin. Haven't done anything with it subsequently.
It's good to know that your
fact,
brain
I
is still
lie.
active.
Yes. Yeah. So I lie. You've actually gone and bought the very first food from me using crypto. That was in 2018.
Is that still online somewhere?
Yes, no, the blockchain exists forever. So that still exists. There's a transaction history of it.
I will try and find a link to that video
Yeah.
because it was
that
cool.
video, yes.
Yeah, if that video is still alive
Exists
somewhere,
yeah.
because that was cool. I bought food at Park Acoustics from BraaiBoy, paying a bribe, which
Yes.
is the name of your
Crypto. Well, then we just used Steam. I didn't
Yeah.
write my own coin by then. But yes, you use
Stop making my cool story.
Cool.
Stop making my story less cool with facts.
Okay. But yes, no, okay. So
That should go on my t-shirt.
Yeah. I actually like that. I'd buy that one. No, I am big on facts, so our stories are cool enough as it. Okay, so let's pause onto that one. So I've got a lot of, okay, so relationships, mental health, relationships, standard relationships do take a toll. I've been through 2 wives now. This lifestyle is not for everyone. Having said that, it's got bonuses that are very short-lived, that are quite pleasant.
Like deep, meaningful, short-term relationships.
Yes. So all my deep, meaningful short-term relationships are sometimes long-term, just infrequent. And anyway, let's not get into where was I going with that?
You're going on the mental health side of things.
Oh, yes.
Relationships suffer,
yeah.
brain.
And facts are important. Oh, yes, and crypto. So I'm a big geek fan still. I'll never go back to IT. I'll never become a programmer. I'm outdated by now. I mean, the shit I was doing 10 years ago, I last wrote proper code. Now I'm just fooling around, and it really is that easy to write your own coin, strangely enough. But anyway, I dabble with it. If Twitter comes up or X comes up with an API, you fiddle with it, see what you can do, how to automate things. So I have an interest. I fiddle with it, lose a bit of interest, and projects go uncompleted. But no, I'll never go back to that way of life. Will I turn BraaiBoy proper commercial? Yeah, probably. Like I say, it has come to my attention that I am moving along in years, and we don't have forever just to pop over a weekend, make a couple of grand, move along. Do need to start thinking that shit, I can't stay awake for 3 days anymore. I can't do this, can't do that. So a little bit of that does catch you, like shit, I need to plan and think about my future. But yeah, other than that, it passes very quickly as soon as the next event starts. And then you forget about it for 3 days, and a bit of depression kicks in after. It's like, oh shit, I should have, could have, would have. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll speak to somebody and let them figure out
Yeah.
if things are good enough or not.
Well, that
Actually,
was
I did. I used to date someone like that, but
true.
no.
Well, I find that if you date someone, you know exactly what's wrong with you, though.
Yeah,
You keep being reminded.
exactly.
Oh, that's a joke. All my exes, you're lovely. Listen, I need to know though, how do you manage to keep yourself positive amidst adversity? Because as you mentioned, obviously, a couple of relationship failures, lockdown happened, you had a couple of businesses fail on you during
Love
because of
lockdown. Can we
lockdown.
please have lockdown back again? I was very entrepreneurial.
Well, I mean,
And so lockdown worked out better for me than pre and post. Okay,
are you confessing to crimes here?
no. I may have just been entrepreneurial.
Very well, very well.
Yeah.
Should I cut that out?
Nah, leave it. No, fuck it.
Right.
For doing what? Like
For being entrepreneurial.
Yes, I sold fruit and veg. Actually, I created a cover business that started making money. So
A real business.
Okay, yes, a real business selling fruit and veg, because the neighbors were wondering, why is there so many people in and out here? Because I was entrepreneurial from home, selling food from home. And there's so many people coming in and out. Started a fruit and veg business to sell to the neighbors so that they know. And I didn't care about I was selling it at like cost plus 5, and ended up making money selling fruit and veg. So the first week made a loss. I didn't care. I gave away. I was looking charitable. Everything is lacquer. Second week I made a profit. I'm like, shit, I can become a fruit and veg corner.
Which is funny for BraaiBoy to become a fruit and veg
Ironically,
corner.
yes, I've got BB veg, and I made a big joke of it, and it was beautiful. So how do you stay positive? I think that has just always been my nature. I mean, glass half full is very cliche for a reason. Life sucks, buddy. I promise you, everything in life sucks. It's just, how much are you going to let it suck for you? Make peace with it, move along, and yeah, try and see it as half full, or at least top it up to get to half at least. So yeah, find a way to make shit work. That's really, life is going to be shitty. Where even no matter who you are, go and ask, is Elon the richest guy now again still? Whoever the richest guy is currently. So whether it's him, Bezos, whoever's currently the richest, go and ask them, is life great? No, they've got shit in their own ways. Everybody has shit. And it's not always monetary. It's not always relationship. It's not always about business is good or bad, or I'm not the best in my field. There's random shit. I had to sit with an affidavit today. Okay, this I can't say on camera, but I may or may not have a driver's license, and I may or may not have not had one for the last 10 years. Anyway, so I eventually went and got an affidavit because I can't get in and out of my mate's bloody security estate because they only take a driver's license, and my ID book isn't good enough for them. So first world problems exist. Okay?
That is the reason that got you to go and update your driver's
yes, because I
license.
can't get in and out of my mate's fucking
The estate guard asks you
ask
for
you
it,
to do it. Yes.
not the police.
Yeah. The police are a hazard in our society. They're going to give you problems whether you have a license or not. And not having one just makes a level of shit and a level of arguing more. So
There you have it, kids. That should go on a t-shirt.
yeah, don't worry about driver's license. That's overrated. Make sure you can drive that, because mother.
I do want to ask you one last question just on your mental journey coming from consistency, corporate, boring but safe versus exciting but challenging.
Yeah.
if there's one thing in your current life that you would change, like, it's not a challenge to change it. Imagine, flick a finger, it could be changed, and it will be perfect from tomorrow morning when you wake up. Whatever it is that you could change, what would you change?
Shit, I've never had to think of that. I literally have no idea. It might be somebody who can do my admin because I'm really shit at admin. So, I mean, even when I was doing businesses, so both my mom and my sister were PA and admin for me because I'm very bad at admin. So, BraaiBoy, to make it more serious, and which it is now, so I've got the bistros, I do events, this and now I got to invoice people at. I'm very, very bad at admin. So if I could change one thing, is that I had a team of minions working underneath me to say, you rock up there, you go and have fun, and you just do the jolling. We'll take care of the admin for you. That would be a godsend. So anybody who has such an offering,
Internships
and it's
with
by the way,
BraaiBoy.
it's an unpaid job. So
He pays you with
being
fire
a
and
BraaiBoy. Yes, bring BraaiBoy costs, mate. Say, I can pay you in booze and food. So I often work for food and booze. So whoever my employees would have to do the same.
I think that is an interesting take on it, because a lot of people would have said, no, fuck it, I just want a couple of $1 billion.
Money doesn't solve everything. It makes the life easier. For sure, 100%. Every day I wake up wishing, wish I had my bank balance with an extra couple zeros on it. But that's not going to solve the admin stuff. That's not going to solve me sitting at 2 a.m. Oh shit, I never sent that quote out. Do you know how much work I've missed because I just didn't quote the people? And the quote was, I'll do it for free, but you're just going to have to cover this, and this expense. I don't get around to even telling them that. So
there you go. If you want to book BraaiBoy, just make sure you book him and just let him forget things.
yeah.
I want to know from you, and this is dead serious. Have you officially been diagnosed with ADHD yet?
No.
And I say yet because anyone knowing things watching this would probably put a label of ADHD on you.
Okay, so you're not the first person. No, you're the first person I'm not dating that's ever asked me that. I keep my shit together around public. No, I haven't, and I don't think I'd want to because it's overused. Everybody has ADHD. My son had ADHD.
ADHD is the current insomnia. Remember when everyone had insomnia?
Yeah, so, but yes, I'm definitely have some sort of attention deficit disorder. Let's not just call it ADHD.
I think it's there, looking at the patterns.
Just curious. I call it curious.
Okay.
I'm a naturally curious person, and if something doesn't hold my curiosity long enough, but it's maybe not. Okay. Long story short, no, I've never been diagnosed, and I don't think I would be that bad. Just like, hey, buddy, I need a strong talking to and more disciplined. But meds, no, I don't think I need meds.
If you are a shrink and you're watching this and you would like to have both BraaiBoy and Baas de Beer in for a live broadcast session to figure out how bad is our ADHD, because I was diagnosed with it at 12. Right?
Oh, okay, so you were.
Yeah,
actually,
no, I had a woman that knows things that told my parents, I've got, your son's got the ADHD. But lucky for me, that was honestly in, like, what was that, 95-ish, around about there, 96.
Then you guys had the cool drugs. So I had
No,
two buddies
I didn't
in
have
school.
the drugs.
Oh.
And I'm so thankful for that.
Because that made you.
That was right in the time where if your kid looked even like he can't sit still in a class, shove a bunch of Ritalin down his throat. And luckily, friends of my parents told him, listen here, don't do that. Beat the child. So
you know,
I got a beating when I was naughty.
and I don't miss I miss the beatings.
I don't miss the beatings.
Okay, so
They were hard.
yes, I was just about to say that no, you don't miss them. So ladies, now you know what turns him on. So, but I don't think beatings caused me any trauma of any sorts. That was literally a good deterrent. When you screwed up, mom was going to have a pink plucky or a belt.
There were consequences to fucking up.
Exactly. And those consequences were severe. Not, I'm going to take your iPhone away, or I'm going to do this or that. Those consequences were a beating, and
I'm
you're
going to take your ability to sit still, sit at all for the next 3 hours away.
Yes. So I'm sure some psychologists were, and on that whole point of mental health. So growing up, I was good at everything and can do everything, and you're smart enough, strong enough, everything was lacking. Everything really came easy for the first 30 odd years of my life. And I used to think psychologists were quacks. as you get older, you start to appreciate, and the friends and the stories I've heard from friends that they've hidden away for so long, and now I can only talk about it as they're older. It's like, yeah, shit, you should speak to somebody about that rather than sitting outside shaft on the stoop with to 3 o'clock in the morning drinking beers. Oh, buddy, it's lief for you. So that was our therapy. Did it work? Yeah, I don't know. It worked for me because everything was going great and everything. And we thought it was going great. You're young, dumb, and finish that rest. But as we get older, I actually see value in therapy now. For a lot of my friends, have I reached a point where I need therapy? Yeah, you get depro every now and then, but it's like I say, until the next thing happens, and 5 minutes later you get a phone call. Hey, we gotta go and do this, or hey, we meet me. Yeah, I'm in the area, and that sort of thing. So you distracted from your problems quite easily and quickly. But yes, kids, go see a therapist if you think you need one.
Well, if you can afford one, geez.
Are they expensive?
Well, put it this way. A little bit of moment of honesty. Lockdown got depressing for me, and at a stage I'm like, listen, maybe I should talk to someone. And I found it was like Google or Instagram or whatever read my vibes, and next moment there's this ad that pops up. Also, it was in YouTube before one of my YouTube videos that I watched. And it's like, hey, there's this therapy service sponsoring this YouTuber. And I'm like, okay, let me go check it out. And they make you fill in this whole pre-form because they hook you up with a therapist in your preference of style and language and blah, 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 blah. So after spending like fucking 20 minutes filling in a form, and they ask you, what's the area that suffering with? And obviously at that point, I'm like, well, finances are kind of getting me kind of sad. Last question, done. Right, it's going to cost you $2 gazillion to speak to someone. I'm like, didn't you
That's
just
the
see
whole
my
reason
form?
I'm sad.
I don't have money at this point in my existence. I'm sad because no money. Thank you for reminding me that I can't afford to be helped.
Yeah.
And I think, look, there are people there that will help you if you're poor. Don't worry, find them. I'm sure there's
No, there are. And
someone.
like I say, so that's moment. I can be serious as well. I look like a joker, and my suit doesn't help much either. But a bit of adulting every now and then does actually go a long way. And yeah, so find the help if you need it, and yeah, get better. Life is shit, but it's not that shit. Keep on keeping on, buddy. It's actually pretty fucking cool, even when it's shit.
I think as long as you do something to make life better, you have hope of it becoming better.
I don't know for sure.
If you give up, then you need someone to come and pick you up.
That's okay. That is also terrible advice. So sometimes you should give up. So I've had multitudes of businesses, and not saying give up in life. I'm saying
You need to know when
sometimes
to let it
recognize
go.
a bad, let it go. I'm a hoarder, so let's not
You
look
can't
at the
see me,
rest of my
but
law
I am
part
looking
there.
back here at BraaiBoy's Lapa. There's a zinc, like a basin.
Okay, so that zinc is 3 years old, and it's meant to replace the one in the spare bathroom.
It's not moved since you moved in here.
Yes.
Anyway, so
No,
you're a
it's moved
hoarder.
from
To
there.
move on.
Yes.
Business
where were we
hoarding,
going with that?
can't let it go.
Yeah, so I've opened and started a lot of stupid businesses that from the get-go were a bad idea, and I kept on plowing money into it and time and effort into it because I will not fail at anything. Sometimes failure is good. Fail a couple of times, buddy. Learn from your mistakes and don't do it again next time. So that's probably the best advice I can give anyone is
So in essence, what you said by starting with it's good to give up is don't
actually-
give up,
yeah.
fail, but don't give up. Just try better in another way.
yes. Yeah. Don't give up. Give up on what that was because that was
Yeah.
a shit idea. But try something else.
I like that. Now, obviously, we've reached depths of BraaiBoy here that a lot of people
Not too
have.
many. In fact, hardly anybody has ever. Well, except at 3 a.m. We've spoken about that.
Hey, at 3 a.m, many
Nobody else
conversations
remembers
happen.
it. Yes.
I'm blessed and cursed with the fact that I remember those conversations, each and every one of them. I also vividly remember every dumb joke that I make during those conversations when I get uncomfortable with things getting deep and personal at 3 a.m. Please don't hate
Actually,
my dumb
that's the
jokes.
way I handle stuff. So there, you and I are very similar. We make jokes about things that.
Dandler!
Yes. Yeah. In fact, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. But okay, let's not get onto
Let's
friends
not get
again.
onto
Yeah,
Friends
that's
again.
a whole podcast on its own. Yes, we are both Friends fans.
But now I'm going to do the typical thing and elevate us up out of the depths of character building, life and all the nice things, and bring us into what's next for BraaiBoy. Just a little bit lighter. Tell us, what do you have going on that you are looking forward to at this point? Because obviously,
Yeah.
speaking of mental health and stuff, I think that one of the best things that you can have is something to look forward to.
for sure. So more of the same, just more structured. So like I say, I'm getting a little older, a little bit more serious about stuff. Learned a lot. So BraaiBoy is no longer the drunken oak who you're taking photos of passed out on the floor. Is the oak that's staying up drunk whenever the cameras aren't working anymore. But getting a bit more serious and doing some of the stuff I did in early BraaiBoy days, like the Guinness World Record. So chatting to a couple of sponsors, that's a tough one. So post COVID, a lot of even the large corporates have run out of budget. Where previously they threw money at us to do weird and crazy adventures, that has sort of dried up, and now it's just focus it to give them ROI rather than this is a exposure little adventure and they throw money at you. Now offer them something in return. So working a couple of ideas there. Actually, as we speak, Follow the Fire is about to kick off, and braaiing every day for me is easy enough, but going live every day is not. So I just a couple months ago, joined the Tiki Toki tribes.
Do you have to do the dances to be on TikTok?
I don't dance. Have you seen me dance?
I
I'm
saw
a beautiful
one video
dancer.
of you dance.
Yeah,
with Daphne on TikTok.
Yes, no, I'm a fantastic dancer in my head. Okay.
He's not.
So no, I'm a terrible dancer. So I can't dance for tiki tokis. I don't have breasts, so I can't expose any cleavage. So what I'm going to do is literally braai. So I'm going to record my daily braais. We'll go live with it, make a bit of fun of it, get the tiki tokis involved, do some quizzing things, show some recipes and various venues. So a lot of my braais are literally here at home for sometimes just me, but for me and whoever I'm with. So it'll be a braai for two people.
So
but
you're
now,
lighting a fire, having a braai every day.
and going live every
And
day.
going
So
live.
lighting a fire and braaiing every day is not a problem. I have to do that anyway, but putting it on camera and making an hour or two out
Follow
of
the
it,
fire basically means
that
people
is
should be following that fire wherever you go to the
I'm going
venues.
to. Yes, and please do pop into the venues.
Do you still have a
and-
space for venues left to book a spot or a day
Yes.
with you?
Yeah. So there's a couple of days left on the South African game days are a little bit tight. There's one or two left there.
But essentially, any day they can book you
Any
for a
day,
lunch
yes,
hour
a lunch or a whatever.
at
the
a
case may
corporate
be.
place. So if
At
you're
a corporate, yes.
Office Park and you want to book BraaiBoy to come and do, I don't know, braaibroodjies and boerewors
Yes.
for your lunch.
Yeah. So what I'd like to do is whoever I go and must teach me a recipe. So they're going to, I'll help them or they'll at least guide me and I'll make it or whatever the case may be. But make it a bit more fun than just catering food. I do that every day anyway. So this is going to be a little bit out the normal, getting back into the weird, crazy BraaiBoy days. So I want to do a bit of that. We've started a new barbecue league. So 2013 was the first time we went to America, but we were self-proclaimed, we are the best in South Africa, We nominated ourselves as a national barbecue team and we went over, competed, did that a couple years. Now we started an actual league. I speak under correction, and 7 October will be our first competition for that, where the public will start competing. You get points for every competition you win, first, second, third. And then at the end of the year, the top 4 there go and represent South Africa. So it's no longer us just swinging our own decks and saying, yes, we are
So
the best.
you does that mean that you do not by default qualify as
Yes,
BraaiBoy?
no, I can't. I'm the organizer, so I'm going to have to pay to go. I'm going to have
You're
to
a
join.
manager
I'm just
now.
going to become the manager of the team. I can't become part of the team.
You're the coach, Bara.
Yeah, but that's shitty. So I've done it enough times. It's awesome. Love it. Would love to get involved. And that's that adrenaline thing. We're actually chatting to a mate of ours the other day, and you up on stage, no stranger to that. But there's a few minutes before you get on stage, the adrenaline pumps. You're nervous. You're shitting yourself, and never. Yeah. Anyway, the same sort of thing with that competition. Literally, you've been cooking for 12 hours. It's turning time 10 minutes from now. Like, okay, is it too hot? Is it too cold? Do I keep it there? Is it there? And it's that rush is a beautiful, beautiful feeling that I'll miss. I'll just get to point and laugh at the other guys doing it. But for sure, I'm going with. I'll be the coach. I'll be the mentor. I'll find a way to there, but we'll actually have the legit best smokers in the country representing South Africa at the competition. So got that to look forward to. And again, budget depending, got TV shows coming up. So keen on a Netflix show, got the guys interested in that. Just a case finding the budget, putting it together. So no, the next couple of years are looking cool and interesting. And like I say, going back to the earlier days of crazy BraaiBoy shit,
Big stunts.
big stunts, big stunts, just a little bit more mature, we're wiser in our years, and a bit more responsible, and actually offering as the sponsors ROI.
I was about to say,
that's the important
also
thing.
being a bit more sponsorable.
Yes.
Last thing on a business front that I want to ask you, and this was actually something that I planned on asking you, and you already kind of answered half of it. It's like we share half a brain cell. Sponsor-wise, what do you think makes you better at, well, not better. What do you think makes you a worthy sponsorship candidate for companies to say, look, buddy, here's 10 grand a month. I need to associate my brand with you.
With you, yeah. Authenticity. So I've turned away, even over the years. So even in the early days of BraaiBoy, it was easy because I didn't need the money. Even now, if the money is looking good, I'll still say, no, I'm a terrible fucking actor. I really can't act. So I can play the fool, but I can't act the fool. So I can't, or is it the other way around? Either way, I'm a terrible actor, so I can't fake something. So it has to be loosely based on the truth. Yes, I'll never say this is the best beer if it's not, but I can tell you if it's a good beer, but I'm not going to say if it's a good beer.
So, for instance, if a vegan company wants to say, listen, dude, I will sponsor you with 100K a month.
I lie, okay? So, yes, if it's good.
Let me ask you this way. What is your price to go vegan?
No, zero. No.
Million a month.
Fuck all. No.
I just want to say I'll go vegan for $1 million a month.
Yeah, you're going to die within 60... No, I was going to say 6 months, but let's make it 6 years. Vegans will die a premature death. Don't ever go vegan for no amount of money. No, but I will endorse vegan products, but call them vegan and tell them how much different they are to meat. I'm forgetting the brand now, so it obviously wasn't that much of an impression, but one of my bistros was at a university, sort of a private college thing, artsies thing, and half the kids there were vegan. Nothing on my menu is vegan except fries. And literally, in fact, that's vegetarian. The vegans had a problem because of it's this oil, not that. Anyway, long story short, somebody, fucking, I forget the name now. It'll get back to me, but really, really tasty vegetarian and or vegan.
If you remember, we'll put their logo on the screen.
Beyond Meat. There it comes to me. So Beyond Meat is literally flavorful, pleasant eating food. Note, I don't say a meat substitute.
Yes.
It tastes fuck all like meat. It'll never be a meat substitute, but it's pleasant eating.
It's a very nice barbecue flavored fruchterol.
Yes, and I mean mushrooms on the braai, millies on the braai. I don't have a problem with veggie food. I have a problem with it replacing meat for sure. So no amount of money will make it replace meat. But I could, with all honesty, support Beyond Meat. It's an international company. Costs 5 times the price of meat, but it doesn't taste like any of the cardboard substitutes you buy in your Pick and Pay and Checkers.
Unless Pick and Pay or Checkers would like to sponsor BraaiBoy, in which case
it's still going to tell you to go fuck yourself. No, honestly, I will not support the cardboard that is being sold as vegetarian substitutes now. So the question was, why would you do authenticity? So I will support anything if I do enjoy it. So I will make it look slightly better than it is, because if you got a shitty vegan burger, I will make it a beautiful vegan burger.
Yes.
But it's still a vegan burger, and that will be the requirement. I'm not going to say it substitutes meat. I'm going to say this is a beautiful vegan burger. And you do get such a thing. Imagine that.
Would you be open to a blind taste test by a vegan meat replacement company?
100%, anytime. And I will say it's delicious, but never be able to say...
No, blindfolded test, and you have to say which one's
this
the
is meat or not. Without even trying, 100% yes.
If for some reason you're a veganistic company still listening to a podcast with BraaiBoy, I don't think there's anyone, but if you know someone like that, there's an open challenge. I will join him on it just because I'm a social creature and hungry as well. But if you've got some sort of a blind taste test that you want to run and give to semi-carnivores to see what do we prefer, we'll be honest. And
yes. And I've tasted shitty meat before, and I promise you, I will eat that vegan patty before I eat some of the patties I've had to eat to put into my face before. So you can screw meat up.
But you certainly will always be able to tell the
which
difference.
is, yes, this is shitty meat and that is good veggie. That I can tell
Or
you.
if it's good meat and good
Yes,
veggie.
good meat, good veggie, yes, that's easy. Well, then
Okay, there you heard
obviously-
it. Challenge
Yeah.
extended to any veganistic people that want to challenge us.
Yeah.
Listen, it's getting to that time of this podcast. I had so much fun talking to you. I could actually extend this Kuier way more. We have this tendency of Kuiers not ending. But currently, I am out of beer.
Yes.
And
Right about
therefore,
the best time to end a braai.
that
as
is
well.
literally, I mean, the fire is getting lekker now. Finally, it had a bit of a struggling moment. If you watched the video, would have seen the flames dissipate, smoke
And
come up.
I saw that and I was wondering,
Reignite.
is this like a non-stop recording? Do we get to fix it? But
But
I was
it's looking
hoping
good now.
nobody would watch. So it's an
I'm
audio
really hoping a
podcast.
lot of people watch.
And that's the other thing, make mistakes. So when I screw things up, I'll let them know. So nobody has to be perfect. There is no such thing as a perfect braai. There's no such thing as a perfect steak. How you enjoy it is the best way. Okay, that was a shitty fire, but it redeemed
It
itself.
was an aesthetic fire.
Yes, we did that on purpose. We wanted the smoke to.
But I want to end up with things. It's a quick fire round. And legit, you've got 5 seconds to tell me the first thing that comes to your mind when I say the thing.
Okay.
Or ask the
I
question.
go blank on these things, but okay.
And
So,
fair disclaimer.
I'm going to say beer,
There's
steak, fire. There, I do have to ask the questions first. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, I have to ask. I have to think of them. No.
Okay.
There will be a couple of them that might sound a lot like the stereotypical interview questions because screw that, we need to get them in here. So I'll just start by saying, least favorite cut of meat to eat.
Fillet.
Favorite place in South Africa to braai.
Neighbor's house. That was
Best place internationally to go to.
Malawi.
Why?
Damn, that place is awesome. Okay, so piss poor country, nothing much on offer. But okay, second is probably Mozambique and Zanzibar, tying for second there. America, I love America. It's everything works, everything, but it's full of Americans. Sorry, all my American mates. But it's too straight to know. But Malawi is beautiful. The people are fucking friendly, extremely friendly, and you get to eat goat that's been hanging in a tree for 3 days, so without dying. So no, Malawi is beautiful, and it's the mind fuck of all of it is the ocean. So Lake Malawi makes waves, and it's fresh water. You dive into the sea, and it's not tasting salty. So
I just want to tell you that I once took a shit in Lake Malawi.
yeah,
That
save
was
all the
before
other
you
fish.
went there.
Yeah, that's all the other fish as well.
Quick
So-
fires. Weirdest dish you've ever prepared.
Yeah, there are too many. Ice. Literally, okay, no, we smoked the ice. So
Smoked ice.
Yeah, so I have this theory: if you can eat it, I can smoke it. So you can eat ice. We smoked ice, threw it in our whiskey, and it fucked our whiskey up. But so smoky whiskeys are good. Just don't smoke your whiskey and throw it into your whiskey. You
Smoke
destroy
your
the
ice, you
whiskey.
mean.
Yeah, don't smoke your whiskey, not your ice. Yes.
Least favorite beer to drink.
Pass.
Favorite.
No. A warm one. Easiest. So, no, okay. Vice. Actually, any Vice beer.
Okay.
I dislike Vice.
I love a Vice.
Yeah, I dislike Vice. It's very... Yeah.
Favorite South African restaurant.
BraaiBoy Bistro.
I should have said other than your own, but I didn't. Favorite sexual position.
Yes, please.
Is that the begging one on your knees? Favorite drink to drink. Non-alcoholic.
Ooh, non-alcoholic. Water.
And-
Lots of it. Yes, I love water. I drink lots of water and coffee. Coffee is a close second, but it contains water. So, no, water wins.
And last but not least, what is your favorite podcast called?
Except my own, and I don't have my own, so I'm going to have to go with Baascast.
You heard it there first, folks. The man in red spandex, the superhero of South African braai, the guy that braais every day and makes you sad that you are not him, has just endorsed the Baascast. Dankie. Any closing thoughts from you?
We should be doing more of this. It's been really cool. We have these conversations all the time. Yeah. What we should be doing is fly on the wall stuff, but who's going to edit that? So
it's effort to edit this one.
Yeah, exactly. So this is going to be hard enough to. But
actually, not. Just by the way, I very rarely cut anything out of
Big Brother shit. So I would love to, oh, that's where we're going with the story just now, that we don't have to make up stories because our life is interesting enough. And half the people I meet don't believe the shit we get up to. Our normal lives are like fairy tales to them. So, closing thoughts, live your life, become your own fairy tale, and make sure you carry a camera so that there's evidence.
And last closing thought from me, if BraaiBoy didn't think that he's got ADHD, he just completed the thought that he started, according to my timer there, approximately 40 minutes ago. As if it just happened. Ladies and gents, thanks so much for watching this, and do me a favor, go and like BraaiBoy's stuff on the lines. He makes cool recipes. If you actually wanted to listen to a podcast about recipes and stuff, that's probably more going to be on the Braaicast. We got deep, we got serious, we had fun. Thanks so much, BraaiBoy. Thanks so much, Gareth.
Dankie vir jou, bra.
Jy's 'n lekker dude. Appreciate you.
you.
Heeltyd speeltyd. I still wanted to go into heeltyd speeltyd, but we're already over an hour, so
Okay.
ladies and gents, press like, press share, invite your friends to come and enjoy the fun. Cheers.
Thank you for listening to this Baascast, and thank you so much Audio Torch for sponsoring the camera gear.